Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Grumble, and we're back today with another entry in our Deathloop lore series. I wanted to delve deeper into the backstories of our esteemed visionaries, and so I just went and did. In this series, each week I'll give you the inside scoop on their characters, tidbits, and trivia you might have missed. Obviously, be aware that these videos are filled with spoilers for the game's critical path, as well as side quests. Let's go! Today, we're talking about Charlie fucking Montague. And 2-Bit, of course. Charlie. Another caricature, another poke at real life. Except this time, the devs at Arcane said, what if we put an absolutely insufferable, obnoxious game designer into our video game? Genius decision, if you ask me, and something Charlie fucking Montague would never have the self-awareness to do. Charlie has won at least 5 Game of the Year awards, bless his heart, and he joined the Eon program and the Loop to try and refine his games to the point of perfection. For the Eternalists' entertainment too, sure, but mainly to prove he's the biggest resident genius. He wants to be known as an interraconteur, a storyteller of interactive experiences. Charlie is the mind behind the Moxie and conditioned attachment in Updom, as well as several other challenges across Black Reef for Eternalists and Cold alike to try and work out to win prizes. He created 2-Bit, an artificial intelligence that administers conditioned attachment, and various other installations across the island, especially security systems, but also announcements and PSAs broadcast through the speaker system. 2-Bit is a sweetheart. He's also powered by half of Charlie's actual squishy brain. He had Bungie remove it prior to first day, and he hasn't been the same since. He did it both to make 2-Bit smarter and himself more analytical. Specifically, he had Wenji remove the parts of his brain associated with empathy. Go figure. This explains why 2-Bit is a sweetie, and why Eternalists who've met both of them call 2-Bit the funnier one, something Charlie deeply resents and takes as an insult. He spent hours trying to make 2-Bit sound smart instead of goofy, not realizing that the goofiness is part of 2-Bit's charm. Charlie can't see past his own nose and thinks that by calling 2-Bit funny or laughing at his jokes, they're actually insulting Charlie's invention and intellect. What hurts is that Fia put him up to it, calling it addition through subtraction. He was so desperate for praise from the edgy, cool artist girl that he let her talk him into it. I'll say a little bit more about that in the video that's coming up on her. As a result of the procedure, Charlie is even more arrogant and a jerk than he presumably was before. His self-perception of the badass genius has intensified, while still leaving him with a major case of insecurity underneath that veneer. His obsession with showmanship is so great that he has 2-Bit spliced together tapes of other visionaries praising him, namely Frank, Fia, Juliana, and Wenji. Curiously, at least as far as I know, Alexis is not among those whose praise Charlie seeks. Likewise, he doesn't seem to receive an invite to the Devouring of the Lambs party, beyond Alexis's efforts to get them all to show up during loops when Colt hasn't killed anybody by afternoon. Insecurity and a craving for recognition and respect is something Charlie shares with both Igor and Alexis, but where both of them like to remind everyone that they wouldn't be here on Black Reef without them, especially Igor does this, reinforcing his point with a shotgun, Charlie just gets huffy and occasionally violent. Even though the surgery removed his empathy, he does still have feelings for Fia. Still, caught in the loop, he can't recover, in as much as that is even possible after, and I cannot stress this enough, having half of his brain removed. During their rendezvous, it becomes clear that he is also scared of Fia when she is using her Havoc ability, something she takes advantage of. It turns out that the one who gets character development is 2-Bit, who retains memories across all loops thanks to his bioprocessor. 2-Bit warms to Colt after originally being programmed with Charlie's assessment of Colt as an, and I quote, underqualified gunman. For which, by the way, Charlie got significant shit from Frank, but more on that in a later episode. As boss, Charlie is, well, He made the Eternalists working on conditioned attachment prior to first day crunch Because of course, scope reduction due to his completely over-the-top vision was out of the question, even though the project was in danger of remaining unfinished by the time the loop actually started. Crunch, pizza on the house. At least he programmed evacuation protocols? He also invented the Minicom messaging system. At least the jingle doesn't suck. Charlie's ability is Shift. His spy-given codename is Fireball. Charlie seems to experience shift malfunctioning or phasing him in and out when he's in distress. During his rendezvous with Fia, he can be seen flickering and surrounded by shift static. Shift is one of the slabs with the clearest Dishonored references. Shift itself evolved from Blink, using the same visual signifiers for range, landing, and ledge blinking. The Swap Pro upgrade evolved from the Doppelganger Switch Places upgrade in Dishonored 2. Dropkick evolved from Blink Assault, and Airborne works like Emily's Far Reach upgrade in Dishonored 2, or Dowd and Corvo's Redirective Blink from Dishonored 1 and 2. And speaking of Dishonored, one of the 7 strictures resonates with Charlie's character pretty well. Restrict an errand mind before it becomes fractious and divided. Can 2 enemies occupy the same body? No, for the first will direct it one way and the second another, until they stumble into a ditch and its neck is broken. Likewise, 2 contrary thoughts cannot long abide in a man's mind, or he will become weak-willed and subject to any heresy. And that's all I know about Charlie. And now I'm going to go and give my bioprocessor a break. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and leave a comment on your way out. It's really much appreciated. If you wish to support my channel, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AnnaMarabella or my Ko-fi page at ko-fi.com/grumble. You can either donate or become a monthly subscriber, receiving access to my writing and videos before everyone else, including the inside track about what I'm working on and what's coming up next in April. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's next